People are like, Brittany, you're gonna hit the wall. You're going to be ugly. And it's like, joke's on you. I already was ugly growing up. So I already know what it's like to be ugly and undesirable. Thank you.
So you're almost 40? Yes. And you've never been married? No. And you don't have kids? No. And you don't want to have kids? No. What have you done with your life? Well,
Are you really happy? Women often have a lot of power and control in their youth, living like queens. But as they get older, especially if they've been used and discarded by guys who were just out for a good time, they hit a wall, both biologically and mentally. It's like nature's payback for all the times they snubbed decent guys. This wall hits hard around 30, and it's mostly a thing in the West. Other women, in more traditional societies, usually have husbands by then. But mark my words, most women in the States will be single and childless by 2033, proving my theory right.
When women are young, they think they have all the time in the world, right? You have all the time. You're 25, you're young, you look in the mirror, your skin is fresh, you feel confident, you go out, you walk down the street and a whole bunch of guys whistling from the construction site. You're like, yeah, I got it. And then you're 42, you're exhausted, you're alone, and all of a sudden you're like, I did my whole life wrong. Right? It happens to a lot of women, and increasingly happening to women more and more and more because of this feminist ideology of postpone, freeze your eggs, you don't need a man. And then they realize, but I want one at 45, and they don't look like they did at 25, and they don't have all those assets that they once had, and now the panic sets in.
Let's talk about why these post-wall women struggle to find commitment. Sure, they'll still get some attention, but mostly from young guys looking for a fling. Here's why. 1. Desperation kicks in, and they start babbling about commitment on the first date, which is a massive turnoff. 2. They start interrogating potential partners about their past relationships, income, and everything else that screams needy. 3. They're no longer the young, fit, friendly creatures they used to be. Time hasn't been kind. 4th, some of these women expect alpha men to cater to their every whim just because they're getting desperate for marriage. They think these men owe them love, support, loyalty, and their genes. 5, they start showing anger and entitlement early on in dating, wondering why they're not getting more dates. Hint, it's a major red flag. 6, they bash men in their age group for preferring younger women, conveniently forgetting they dated older men in their 20s who could pamper them with fancy dinners and gifts. 7, they have zero interest in being feminine or domestic, but expect men to fulfill all traditional roles to make them feel special. So, what's the point of marrying someone like that? It's a recipe for disaster. 8, many post-wall professional women fail to grasp that men often prioritize youth, attractiveness, temperament, and humor over a woman's money, power, education, and influence. Men generally don't want a wife who strives to be the CEO of the household. These women often expect men to fulfill traditional provider roles but show little interest in supporting or admiring their partners. Some believe their value lies solely in their physical attributes, and the notion of contributing to a relationship is met with disdain. They seem to think their mere presence should be enough for men to idolize them, but those days are long gone for many men. In essence, many women over 30 desire marriage without embodying the qualities of a good wife. Consequently, many marriages fail because husbands eventually find a woman who is both attractive and fulfilling the role of a wife. Take my niece, for example. She focused solely on her career and avoided dating. Now, at 35, she's struggling to find a partner and is in a state of panic. I warned her about this outcome, but she didn't listen, and now she's in a tough spot. Years have passed, and my niece is now facing the harsh reality of my warnings. She's actively using multiple dating sites and is even open to meeting men from far-off countries, not just nearby. Like many women her age, she's gripped by the fear of dying alone, of being left behind while everyone else settles down. The realization has dawned on her that her career and business, while important, cannot fill the void she feels inside. With her biological clock ticking loudly, she's even considering men who are already married or have children. All her previous logic and excuses have been thrown out the window. These were reasons she would have never entertained in her younger years. But now, she's rushing into things, and it's likely to end in disaster. She hasn't even met the man yet, but she's already talking about marriage. She's panicking as she sees her options dwindling, feeling invisible to men even though she's still attractive. This desperation, masked as nonchalance, is a common trait among women in her position. Rushing into marriage without even meeting face-to-face, relying solely on texts and photos, is a recipe for a crash and burn scenario later on. These are the same women who often wonder, where have all the good men gone? It's a classic case of too little, too late. Some women, like my niece, are also relying on depression medication, struggling with low libido, and feeling the effects of a lifestyle that may have included excessive partying or stress. The energy they once had for serious relationships has waned. By the time they reach 30, their pool of potential partners has significantly shrunk, and they start to feel invisible, as if they've missed the proverbial train. This is a harsh reality that many women face. One perplexing question lingers in my mind regarding this topic. Why do so many successful boss babes in their 30s, who have achieved financial independence, power, and influence, still yearn for marriage? With options like sperm donors, IVF, surrogacy, and adoption readily available, it seems that marriage is often seen by these women as a status symbol of their success as attractive females. However, for many modern women, the value of marriage appears to be confined to its symbolic nature rather than being embraced as a means to forge a strong, enduring relationship with a good man despite its challenges. In my view, too many women seek only the benefits of marriage, such as the guaranteed income post-divorce, without being willing to invest the necessary effort and sacrifice into choosing wisely and building and maintaining a solid family unit. While most men aspire to be in fulfilling relationships, a pragmatic analysis of dating, long-term relationships, and marriage in the Western world often reveals discouraging outcomes. As Robin Williams astutely observed, it's better to be alone than be with someone who makes you feel alone. A sentiment that unfortunately resonates with many experiences in relationships with Western women. And that's it for today on Sigma Traits. Make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that notification bell. Support this channel through membership. You can also support through PayPal link in the description. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.